It seems like time has picked up speed. And if you got some bills, you don't get 30 days out of the month. You get 2 weeks. Didn't I just pay that? No. Come on. Where did time go? You are 77. Who does that? Wow, I served at the Lord's Supper. Time has picked up speed. This is a different time. I want to share with you and want to talk to you about something. Do what's you. Make your life count on doing the things that's true to you. What I love about the presenters that are talking to you are people who have overcome some stuff, who have grown through some stuff and decided that will not make me or break me, but I'm going to use my voice and my story and my example to empower people, because a lot of people need it. Some people will hear me. Some people will hear Tracy. Some people will hear Makuba. Some people will hear you. We all have a voice. We all can impact people's lives. And so as you look at yourself, look at your goals, look at your dreams, do things that's true to you. Now let me share something else with you. I think the most important message that I have ever given, I would say the most important statement, and I want you to write this down and put it somewhere where you can see it. Because these individuals that you see, they're trainers, they're consultants, they have a variety of knowledge and abilities and skills. I endorse them, I support what they're doing, and I know that they're going to make a difference for you, for your company, for your church, for your organization, because I get the chance to see them up close and personal. We are processed. We are working on our stuff, including me. Live your life the way you want to live your life. I spoke to a group yesterday, and I asked, if you had 3 months to live, what would you do differently? And all of them, 100% said, I would quit my job. If I knew I had 3 months to live, I would start doing more programs. I would speak more. I'll be on Twitter, on LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. I've been doing all of them. Let me tell you something. Listen, why? Because I'm doing what I love to do. If you spend 40 to 50 hours a week doing something that's not you, that's stressful. But if you're doing something that's you, that's passion, honey. Or you're going to rob the cemetery of your talents, of your abilities, of the gifts that God put in you, that He brought you here at this point in time to help clean some of this mess up. And these individuals have answered the call on their life. And I'm encouraging you. What's in your heart? Do what's in your heart. Where your heart is, there your treasure is also. Yeah. See, the reason that I'm excited about these speakers, and we're going to be sharing stages around the world, that we're living in an incredible time. I remember speaking in 4 or 5 different cities. I have to get on airplanes and go from city to city, hotel to hotel. Now, we can just do it in the comfort of our home. And so what they're doing is paving the way, because we're going from brick and mortar to click and order. Now, we can reach people, we can help people to achieve mental health and wellness, helping people to develop strategies and the new skill set for this new space where we are. These people have put in a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of effort. So I don't want you just listen to them. I want you to write down information, take some notes, and get contact information so that you can incorporate their services for your business, for yourself, or for your organization, and for things that you believe in and causes that you support. Here's something else. Make every day count. I was talking to someone today, and they said, well, let's get together in 2 weeks. I said, no. I said, you just told me you're an hour and a half away. I said, let's do this right away. I remember when Michael Jackson said, "This is it," after procrastinating and going on tour. But it was not the it he had in mind. And the older you become, the more calls you get about people who are gone. I remember my high school teacher, Mr. Washington, and he was an unusual guy. We told him, "Hey, did you hear Mr. Hayes died unexpectedly?" And he said, "Leslie?" I said, "Yes, sir. No one dies unexpectedly. We all gonna die." I said, "Oh, we have an expiration date." And so I'm encouraging you, make every day count. It said it's not the number of breaths that we take, but the number of breaths that moments and events that take our breath away. Here's something I'm doing now, and I encourage you to do. I heard something that shocked me, and I didn't like the guy's voice, and I heard what he had to say accidentally. He was talking to this couple, and he asked them, "I'd like to give you $1 million. How do you feel?" They said, "Wow, I'm excited." The husband said, "Yes." And he asked, "Why are you excited?" He said, $1 million? He said, "I know what I'm going to do with it." He said, "I got something else better for you." And they said, "What?" "I'm going to give you $10 million. How would you feel?" He said, "Great. Wow. I would be, off the hook. That would blow my mind." He said, "There's one hitch." And they said, "Okay, what is it?" "I'm going to give you $10 million today, but you won't wake up tomorrow. You'll be dead. Do you still want it?" They said, "No. You wouldn't accept $10 million today? 10 million, that's 10 times 1 million. You would pass on that? You saying I will be dead tomorrow?" "Yes, you'll be dead tomorrow." He said, No. He said, "So you're saying when you wake up in the morning that you got life, that's equivalent to having $10 billion, that you're still here. Oh, stuff's going to happen to you, but you're still here. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to lose money. People are going to betray you. Things are going to happen that you won't see coming. But each morning that you wake up, you got a chance to work on it. You got another shot. You got some more time that you've been given by God to begin to straighten things up in your life. Every day you should be excited because you're a billionaire, you're a trillionaire, because you got life. Wow. As Della Toro would say, I'll wait. I never thought it like that. I never thought about it like that. So when I wake up in the morning, I woke up this morning, I said, whoa, there's some billionaires that's pushing up daisies. Ooh, I'm glad to be here. And I know a lot of others that would love to be here. And I still got a chance to serve. I still got a chance to make my life count. I know that my life has an expiration date, but I'm here now. I'm not going to focus on when I'm gone. I'm going to focus on what do I do with what I have. I'm going to live my life the way I want to lead my life. So these speakers, they answered a call on their lives. They said, I want to live my life the way that I want to lead my life. I'm going to change some lives before I leave here. I'm going to inspire some people. I'm going to bring out the greatness in some folks. I'm going to let people know that their adversities don't have to break them. they can make them stronger. I want them to be able to live their dreams by making a statement and taking a stand with the life that they've decided to choose to leave the world in better shape than how they found it for their children and their grandchildren and their great-grandchildren. You have something special. You have greatness in you. I want you to think about the fact that you are still here, that God has something in mind. A lot of people out of here. People dying today who never died before. Come on. Oh, behave. And I decided, write this down, smile in spite of. Why? I got some stuff going on. I got some challenges that I'm facing. But you know what? Even homely people look better when they smile. Watch this. Smile at somebody on your right or left. And if they're already smiling when you look over there, you the homely one. This thing called life is for living, for laughing. Live the life you love and love the life you live. And decide that you're going to do what you can with what you have to leave it in better shape than how you found it. You have something special. You have greatness in you. We've all had major disruptions in our lives because of this pandemic. And when you have a disruption, that requires transformation. I don't care how fast a caterpillar can run, it can never fly until it goes into a cocoon and experience a transformation. So life is full of distractions. And so I want you to think about what are your goals and what is it that you see for yourself in and out of the pandemic. You just saw a video. Here I am, 77, just a few months ago, about 3 months ago, I connected with my birth family and to see a picture for the first time of my birth mother and father. This thing called life, it's just so unpredictable. And so that in the middle of all the stuff that we have to do and the things that you have to do in terms of your personal stuff, in terms of your business and the people that's a part of your team, and all of the unexpected distractions that we just don't see coming. This is a very challenging time. And what we have to do and know is, first of all, we have to have a program for ourselves to handle what's going on. And I want you to write this down. When things go wrong, don't go with them, because they're going to go wrong. That's going to happen. And so having a strategy, a game plan, a ritual to train your mind to observe things and not buy into the things that you see, that's major now more than ever. This is no time to lose it. And so when we look at all the conflict and all the things, the confusions and the violence and the spike in suicide and politicians lying out of their necks every day and say, don't believe your lying eyes. You say, come on. This is a different kind of place. And so this is a time that you have to begin to focus on you. This lady, she was working in hospice and she was interviewing patients who just had a few weeks to live, about 2 months to 3 months. And she asked them, what do you regret about your life? And the majority of them said that I wasn't true to myself. That I wish that I had done the things that had been true to me. It's been said that most people die unlived lives. They die a life that's not them. And so I started examining, where am I now and what am I to do with what I'm going through, just with one of my children who's bipolar schizophrenic. How do I handle that? I called Faf and said, hey, I need some help. Do you know anybody that can help me? Because here I am, can motivate people around the world, and my son, look like I made him by myself, can't hear my voice. So that's very challenging, and it's very humbling. So part of what I want to share with you, develop a ritual for you. I'm the fix-it person, but I had to begin to anchor myself in the words, Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I can't change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And if that wasn't enough, I'm at Cancer Centers of America last week, and they said, Mr. Brown, we know we gave you the Perseverance Award for 29-year prostate cancer conqueror. But we see something here, because I just said, let me just check myself out and see how things are going. And they said, your white blood cells are low. We've not seen this. And I remember reading a book called Who's the Matter with Me? And what I realized, that the shift that has taken place in my health that I'm now proactively dealing with, it is a result of stress, that I was allowing the stress, dealing with my son, dealing with the business and all my children, and all of the things that I just have to deal with. No, excuse me, not have to deal with, that I get to deal with. I want you to write this down. Operation Clean Slate. Come on, somebody. Well, I'm coming for you right now. I started saying, wait a minute. A lot of stuff that I had on my plate, it wasn't my stuff. And so I decided Operation Clean Slate. I started getting stuff off my plate, my children, my brothers and my sisters and friends. My mother had a sign, my adopted mother had a sign on her mirror, and it read, oh Lord, help me keep my nose out of other people's business. Now I understand. I want you to write this down. We live our lives forward, but we understand it looking backwards. Now I understand what Mama meant, because I was putting my nose in a lot of business that was not my business. Operation Clean Slate. So you have to sometimes stop, look, and make an assessment and ask the question, what am I to do with this? Where am I going? What's going on with me? Who am I really? Who have I been being? And I have been being Superman or Mighty Mouse. Here I come to save the day. It's Mighty Mouse. He's on his way. I said, no, I resign. I can't even call Superman to help me out. You know why? Because they eliminated the telephone booths. He can't even change clothes. I told him not to remove those telephone booths. He's not gonna risk being arrested for indecent exposure, taking off his clothes in a telephone booth. Now that's not an option. So, so here we are. And we have to deal with this stuff. And so number one, you gotta be true to yourself. You gotta have a ritual to take care of yourself. And you know this. And it's very important. And sometimes we need to be reminded of what we know. I'm getting still, and I'm reading the Bible, the Torah, the Kabbalah, the Holy Quran. I'm reading everything. When they said, Mr. Brown, your PSA, which stands for prostate specific antigen 2,400. Wow. And I say, whoa. But guess what? I got it down. I got it down to below 0. Then it went up to 4. And so I'm working on it again. But what I know is I'm minimizing the stress in my life that I brought into my life. I take responsibility for where I am and this situation. That's an opportunity to prove my discipline and my commitment of making choices, that I would be here and at 77 making the rest of my life the best of my life. And I know that many of you have decided in this mastermind, that's where you are. And because we can't do it by ourselves. And so building mental resolve. I get up early in the morning, listening to things to fortify me, to begin to strengthen myself mentally and emotionally and spiritually. Here's something else. As you begin to dig in and start thinking your life, rethinking it and looking at yourself, why is that important? Because this is a new space that requires a new skill set. Einstein said, the thinking that has brought me this far has created some problems that this thinking can't solve. And so Les Brown had to say to himself, hey, look here, if you do the same thing that got you here, that won't serve you in this new space where we are. So self-awareness is very important. Am I being me? Am I being true to myself? Am I doing the things that I need to do to keep myself on the path, to do the things that as I go forward, where I am an asset to my family and not a liability? Here's something else. Whatever your goal and dream is, I can share with you based upon my experience, it's possible and it's necessary. You got to decide, I'm going to do this, I'm going to make this happen. But not just that, but also who you have to be in order to do that. Because at the end of the day, and you know this, being with Fab, that people don't live life as it is. You live life as you are. If you're not playing with a full deck, if you are not getting a full night's sleep, if you don't have the clarity of mind to make good decisions that will serve you and your team and your family, that's going to be challenging. You become a liability. As Jim Rohn said, is your life a warning or is it an example? A warning of not to do or an example of what to do? So taking care of yourself. And I want you to write this down. Live your life, and this is where I am. And I really want you to put this someplace that you can see it. Live your life the way that you want to lead your life. I was talking to a room of entrepreneurs, and I asked them, if you knew you had just a few weeks to live, what would you do differently? And I was surprised that the majority said, I would quit my business, and they start thinking about things that they were going to do. And here's what was fascinating. There's a young lady in there named Pauline Ahi. Pauline was born with no arms and no legs. And so as I was passing her table in this training I was doing, someone said, did you hear what Les said? Write down the things that you would do differently if you knew you just had a few weeks to live. She said, yes, I heard him. And what most of them did at the table, they talked about quitting their business and start traveling and just doing a variety of things. And what she said, I would continue to be me. And when they heard her say that, these people who had written out all the things that they had taken on and all the things that they said that they would step away from, they begin to rethink themselves. And I asked also the second follow-up question, what are the biggest challenges that you're facing right now? Pauline did not have one thing on her paper. No arms, no legs, married with children. And they asked, you gotta have some problem. You don't have no arms. You don't have no legs. That's gotta be very challenging. He said, I don't have no challenge. I find a way to live life on my terms. Whoa. That's major. She said, I've set my life up, my environment, the people in my life, the things that I'm doing. There's nothing that I'm doing that's outside of what I want to do. I'm doing the stuff that's me. I'm being true to me. That's some lesson in that. See, if I knew I had a few weeks to live, I'd do more Zooms and give more motivational speeches. I told my kids, if they tell you I'm dead, don't let them embalm me for 3 days. Sneak in there and put a microphone in my head and my hand in the morgue. And if I don't grab it and say, you got to be hungry, you call your brothers and sisters and say, Dad's gone. Yeah, and if my casket give me a microphone and some Colonel Sanders chicken, I'll be fine. This thing called life. So just determining who are you now and who is it you need to be for this vision that you see of yourself, because life is very challenging. It's sometimes up, sometimes down. Sometimes things go well, and sometimes they don't go so well. It's a roller coaster. And so be true to you and decide the things that you envision for yourself, the reason that you're there, the goals that you've set, the relationships that you're building. Make sure that it represents who you are and the things that you envision. You got to have a mindset that I'm going to do this, just like we got started out. Some stuff happened. It's called life. Think it not strange that you're faced the fiery furnaces of this world. You will, not you might. You will have tribulations. Here's something else. Determine what is it that you really want. That's major. What do I really want? And when I started practicing, and I got this from a friend of mine, business partner, Celeste Johnson, Operation Clean Slate, I took a lot of things off my plate, and I'm focusing on doing those things that's in my heart. Where your heart is, there your treasure is also. Spending more time with my children and my grandchildren and my 4 great-grandsons. And so when you look at the things that you want, creating special moments, it's been said is not the number of breaths that you take, but the number of breaths that takes, the number of moments that you create that takes your breath away. And that's what I'm looking at and focusing on. I remember when I read this article about Howard Hughes, who at that time was the wealthiest man in the world, and they were trying to rush him someplace on an airplane, and he died. And someone asked the question, how much did he leave? And somebody answered, all of it. And so when we look at ourselves, we got to ask, what's really important? Making a decision, and this time that you're there to rethink your life. What's necessary for you that you want to do before you check out? I remember being at Caesar's Palace, and Frank Sinatra was at a table seated next to me, and at that time I was married to Gladys Knight. I was the conductor of the midnight train. Come on now. I was one of the pips. I was the conductor. Come on. And I heard him say to a young man, live each day as if it were your last, because one day it will be. And so now I want you to write this down. And this is a biggie for me right now. A friend of mine, Samantha, and I said, how you doing? And she sounded so bubbly and so happy. I say, what's going on with you? Why are you so bubbly and happy? And I haven't seen you in a minute. She said, well, the reason I am, and I'm like this every day. And I said, why? She said, this is a non-refundable day. Whoa. I don't have time to be depressed and stressed out. It's non-refundable. I'm going to make the best of it. I hear you talking about making the rest of your life the best of your life. She said, that's real, because each moment, each day is non-refundable. I reminded myself that every hour, the time that I invest, the conversations that I have, I won't take a phone call unless it's positive, unless it's purposeful, unless it's productive, unless it's going in the direction of where I'm going. I'm not just going to give my time away. I'm 77. No, homie ain't playing that. I'm going to leave my life the way I wanted to do something more meaningful and make a greater impact. I still have some more in me. Simba, you're more than that which you have become. I still believe, and I'm sure some of you believe, that you still have some more in you, that the best is yet to come. Here's something else. Your why, what has driven me and caused me to become the person that I am, was I wanted to take care of my adopted mother. You know, my birth mother, she gave me life, but my adopted mother, she taught me how to live life. I feel like Abraham Lincoln has said, all that I am and all that I ever hope to be, I owe to my mother. And Mama, she was always engaged in life. She was always looking for ways that she could do something differently. It was not unusual for us to come home and Mama, as small as our house was, that she had reconfigured the furniture in the house. And I remember one time coming home and there was a big window in the living room leaning up against the wall. And I said, Mama, why do you have this window here? Well, they tore this house down and you say you're gonna get me a home. Well, I got this window, so if you're gonna build me a home, I got a window that could fit. I said, no, man, I'm not gonna buy a home that don't have windows in every room. Come on. And she most certainly accelerated me to getting the home that I promised her that I would get for her. But she had the vision saying, I'm going to participate in this and what you're going to do. I'm going to do my part. And so what reason you're here, you've decided, hey, I got something else I want to do. You've got some bigger goals that you want to achieve. And write this down. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. I got 3 brothers, 2 that I didn't know. And they look at me and say, whoa, how is it possible? You're just like our birth mother, and you didn't know her. And our grandmother, and you didn't know either one, didn't see them. How is it possible you're just like them? And the reason is, one, they didn't have any goals beyond their comfort zone, and still don't. And they're fine with that, and that's okay. And the other thing is that people say, well, it's in your genes. No. I remember spending a whole day with Maya Angelou, and Maya Angelou said, it aggravates me when people say I'm a natural communicator. She said, show me a natural heart surgeon. She said, no, I'm trained. And so if they put in the effort and the time like you're doing to get training and upgrade my knowledge, my relationships, expand my vision and dreams, I would be living just a non-consequential life. I didn't want that. The reason you are there, that you want to make a greater impact with your business, with the people that you're working with, to bring out the best in them, but also be the model, not just the messenger, but the message that you want to bring out the best in yourself, to challenge yourself. Iron sharpening iron. That's why you're there, creating collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. That's why you're there. You know there's something in you that says, this is not just it for me. There is more for me. People can be distracted by what's going on in Ukraine, by what's going on with the virus. But as for me, I know that this is my life right now, There is no duplicate, and I want to maximize it. Give yourselves a round of applause for reaching for your greatness. Do that right now.
And as you were speaking about, tapping into the heart, I want to know, in this chapter of your life, what is your heart telling you that you're going to be doing or that you need to do?
I do it every day. I asked an audience the other day, if you just had a few days to live, what would you do? And the majority of the people who had jobs said, I'll quit my job. And this is why I say, and I think one of the most important things that I say, live your life the way that you want to leave your life. If I knew that I had a few days to live, I would do more interviews. I would do more webinars, more Zooms. I would speak more often. I'd look for ways in which I could reach more people, because I'm living my life the way that I want to leave my life. I'm being true to me. I laugh a lot because I'm happy. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. I'm free to choose how this gift of life is God's gift to us, and how we live our lives is our gift to God. I'm free to choose to operate outside of the culture, outside of what's expected of me. I'm free to choose how I'm going to respond to things rather than react to things. I'm free to seek ye this day whom ye shall serve, the highest that's in me or the lowest that's in me. I'm free to stand on the knowing I'll keep thee in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, not on the fourth stage cancer that somebody with a white jacket and a stethoscope around their neck. I'm free to focus on the reality that doctors determine the diagnosis, but God determines the prognosis. And when I left Cancer Centers of America, I know that this battle, this fight that I'm in, that life is a fight for territory. And once you start fighting for what you want, peace of mind, good health, living a life of contribution, once you start fighting for that, what you don't want, anxiety, fear, hopelessness will take over. We always have a choice. That's not taken away from us. We have to give it away, regardless of our situation. That's why Paul said, count it all joy, all of it. All things work together for good for those who love God. Doesn't mean that all of it will feel good. Every day is not a good day, but there's some good, Candace, in every day. And I look for it. And if it's not there, I create it, because I'm made in the likeness and image of God. And I'm a co-creator with God. I believe what Abraham Lincoln said, that the future belonged to those who created. Oh, you bring the best out of me. Come on, bring it. I'm coming for you.
Oh my goodness, Liz, I absolutely love this. And there's so many incredible high achievers that mention you as their coach, their mentor, their teacher. Some of the best speakers that are coming up today, Eric Thomas, mentions you as one of his greatest teachers. How does that feel, Liz, when you look and you see your legacy and you see the transformation you're making in people's lives?
It's humbling. I don't take for granted for that. It's humbling because somebody, Mr. Leroy Washington, Mike Williams, who wrote the book, The Road to Your Best Stuff. Mr. Washington was a speech and drama instructor who said to Mr. Brown, develop your communication skills, because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. He's spoken to my life and said, someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. I was labeled educable, mental retarded, and he disrupted the story that I believed about myself, that I bought into from life. He disrupted that. And because of that impact he had on my life, I have been inspired to do for others what he did for me. And Mike Williams, who said, Brownie, you're more than a disc jockey. At that time, I was LB, Triple P, Les Brown, your platter playing Papa. There are none before me, there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only. Young and single and love to mingle, certified, bona fide, indubitably qualified to bring you satisfaction and a whole lot of action. Bam!
When you know within yourself that there's something you want to do, and I believe that all of us were born with a purpose, that all of us have something that we are supposed to do, that all of us have some goodness within us, and that goodness gives us a responsibility to manifest our greatness. And when you know that, you can feel it in your guts, and you know that you're deliberately operating below your potential, you've gotten comfortable, you stop expanding, you stop stretching, you stop challenging yourself. Let me share something else with you. Not only is it possible for you to have your dream, but it's necessary. It's necessary that you have it, that you work on it, that you develop yourself, that you go for what is yours in the universe. I have a friend that at the beginning of the year I was in Los Angeles giving a speech, and I do a seminar teaching people how to become involved in the speaking business, and also one called Speaking with Power, teaching people how to begin to develop their communication skills. And this friend, I said, I want you to work with me. I called her up. She said, Les, are you sure I can do it? Sure you can. You have a PhD in communications. I don't have that. If I can do it, sure you can do it. In fact, I'm going to give you the support that you need. Here's what I realize, ladies and gentlemen. We only have enough energy to take us to a certain level. But it's necessary that we assemble ourselves with other people who share our vision, other people that can see it for us, to give ourselves a home court advantage. So it's necessary that you seek out other people who think like you, who are growing, who have decided that they are not satisfied with where they are. See, I don't believe that necessity is the mother of invention. No, necessity, in my opinion, is not the mother of invention. Refusing to accept things the way that they are is the mother of invention. When you decide, I'm not going to settle for this, this is not going to be it for my life, I deserve more than this. See, that will start making you do some stuff. See, a lot of people go to work every day miserable, and all they do is just talk about how miserable they are. But they don't do anything about it. So I was telling her that I knew she hated her job with a passion. I said, you can do this. You got more going for you than I have going for me. And we've been going through this for years, ladies and gentlemen. She'd been to my seminar speaking for a living. She brought her husband, and that was one of the major problems that I realized that happened in her life. He couldn't see it for her. So you got to make sure that you have people in your life that can see it for you, that will encourage you. Non-affirming relationships can hurt you. And I talked to him. I said, you know, I don't have anything to do with your marriage. He said, you and I are good friends, and she and I are good friends. And I'm not taking sides. I said, but if you can't see it for her, don't tell her that. Just give her some support. What if you're wrong? It's possible, man, that if I'm doing it, she can do it. Well, you're different. How are you going to tell me that? You've seen her speak. She's got great speaking skills. Don't underestimate her. You don't know. You got a great woman here. But you see, people who can't see it for themselves can't see it for you. He was happy. So I said, will you do it with me? I said, I'm going to give you the support you need. You can't do it by yourself. I will stand with you. She said, you will? I said, yes. I'm going to make you a part of my seminar. You'll do a part of it, and I'll do a part of it. Speaking with Power. She said, okay. 3 days later, ladies and gentlemen, I got an emergency call at my office. It was from her husband. He called and said, "Tell Les Brown that Marion is dead." I said, "Oh no." When I was flying there to go to the funeral, and I remember the last time that I saw her, and I had some of her papers that I had gotten inadvertently confused with mine, and I took them home. And I was searching through these papers to do one of her works. She was a prolific writer. And what got me, what was so sad that made me begin to cry, was that there were poems that she had started that were profound poems, great thoughts that she didn't complete. Plays that she had started that she didn't complete. See, that poem was given to her. I can't finish that for her, nor can you. That play, whatever the outcome that she had envisioned, that she had imagined, was given to her. Only her. And she's the channel that was going to come through. You are here, and you are the vessel, you are the outlet for the universe. That you've been selected. There's something for you to do. I believe all of us have some purpose for being here. And as I was going to the funeral, and I was reading a newspaper that said that millions of people are dying because of what they're eating, talking about their diet. And I'm sure that it was Marion talking to me, whispering, saying, "Les, the next time you speak, say that even more are dying because of what's eating them." When the challenges of life come your way, you've got to find ways to increase your sense of self-appreciation, because if you don't, you're bombarded with negative stuff every day that beats you down, and you will find yourself unconsciously engaged in self-destructive behavior. If you don't program yourself, life will program you. So you want to have an agenda for your life. It's necessary that you have some direction for your life. A friend at the National Speakers Convention gave us a presentation, and it really struck me. He was talking about when he was traveling across Europe, war and aggression, and he said at different points, soldiers would wake them up on their journey and ask him the question. And I posed this to you. The question was, where have you been? Why are you here? And where are you going? And that's what I ask you. Where have you been? Where have you been up to this point? You look at your life. You look at what you produce. Is it giving you what you want? Are you living on purpose? Are you living your dream? Are you acting on your ideas? Are you doing all you can do? Have you gotten comfortable? Are you procrastinating? Are you evading your own greatness? Are you surrounding yourself with people that can nourish you? Are you challenging yourself? Are you experimenting? Are you learning something different? Is your life an adventure, or is it boring? Where have you been? Why are you here? What brought you here? Investing the time, the money. What brought you here? And where are you going? What is it that you can get out of this session, out of this lecture? That when you leave here, rather than this just being a spectator event, that you got some idea, some dream, that you might have to go back and brush it off and look at it again and say, I've got to do this. This is my stuff. This is what I'm supposed to do. This is why I showed up. Where are you going with your life? What decisions are you making right now as you look into the future? Are you experimenting to find out what other talents and abilities that you have? See, we're in a time right now. The day is gone where you could just go to college and get out and get a job and work 30 or 40 years with job security and retire with a gold watch. The gold watch days are gone. Brand new day, party's over. So now you have got to be multi-talented and multi-skilled. You've got to use all your stuff. You don't know what else you can do. I didn't know I can do what I'm doing right now. It's necessary that you stretch and challenge yourself and say, let me see. I start out as a trainer. I'm a trainer. That's what I am. That's what my expertise was in. And then I decided, let me see, can I speak? And then I discovered, hey, I can do that. What if I hadn't tried to do that and just been satisfied with just being a trainer, with a limited vision of myself? And then after training, and then I said, well, maybe I can go into business for myself. And I started speaking, going into business for myself. Well, maybe I could train other speakers and teach them how to go into business for themselves. See, you want to have a backup plan. You want to have other strategies for yourself. In case this doesn't work out, You got something else going over here. You don't want to ever put yourself in a situation where you have a limited vision and you're only using a limited amount of your talents, of your skills, and of your abilities. And I'm saying to you, it's possible you've got some talents, some ideas in you, your ability to do some stuff that you haven't even discovered yet. And I'm suggesting that it's necessary that you get outside of your comfort zone. It's necessary that you develop some new relationships where you can learn from people. It's necessary that you do reading, that you do research. It's necessary, if you're already involved in some business, that you don't be satisfied with where you are. If you want to make it today, it's necessary for you to constantly look at ways of getting better. Not only is it possible for you to have your dream, and it's necessary for you to challenge yourself to go after it and get better and leverage relationships that can help you get to where you want to go, but it's you. The major key to your reaching your dream, your living up to your greatness, your making your contribution is you. If the economy is good, fantastic. If the banks are loaning money, that's great. If people are positive, that's great. You don't have any opposition, that's great. But the major key to your making things happen in your life is you. When I wanted to get on public television, you know, they told me, you can't do that. So wait a minute, I've seen these other people on. It's possible I can get on. Leo Biscaya, John Bradshaw. It's possible. Wait, excuse me, hold on, time out. Let's be realistic. Come on, be logical. I said, well, wait a minute, why can't I do it? Let's look here. Think about guys who have credentials, all kind of credentials. You don't have any college training. They're not going to put you on television. Give me a break. I said, thank you for that. God love you, and I'm trying. And went on about my business. You hear me? Let me tell you something. What people think about you and the possibilities for your dream is none of your business. That's their business. They have no imagination, ladies and gentlemen. They're living out of the past, out of their memory. Their attitude is it can't be done because they haven't seen it. They're judging according to appearances. The people that are going to make it in the future, the people that are making it today, let me share something with you. History is being read, but it's also being written by people with imagination. So I went to the next mode, necessary to start talking to people and seeking and asking for what I wanted and leveraging relationships and trying to find out how do the people do it that went ahead of me? How do they do it? And then what is it I need to do? How is it I need to train myself, to develop myself? What's the resources that will be required in order to make it happen? And as I start seeking out and asking questions, I started running into people who said, I know someone who can help you do that. And they helped me get connected with those people. Remember, we have so much energy that can take us so far. It's necessary that you hook up with some other energy that can take you to the next level. I hooked up with them. They said, let's go. I said, away we go. And guess what? Here we are. I love it. You want your stuff? It's necessary you take responsibility for it, that you make it happen, that you don't give up, that you don't take any objection or disappointment or defeats personally, that you keep on keeping on, that you don't decide that I can't make it because you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, that you realize that's a part of the program. And here's something you've got to resolve. Say this to yourself every day. See, as long as you're breathing, you got a shot at your dream. That's the way I resolve. Say this, please. It's not over until I win. You got that right. It's not over till I win. Not over till I get through. It's not over till I get over. Not over till I get what I want. Door can't open today, look out. I'm going to come back and take the hinges off. That's how you got to do that. You've got to have that kind of courage, that type of determination. If you want to make it happen, it's you. That you've got to take personal responsibility to make it happen. that you have got to own what it is that you want to do. If it's taking care of your well-being, if it's making a difference in our school system, if it's working with senior citizens, if it's to protect our ecology, if it's to create an economic renaissance, if it's just to take yourself to another level, it's you. You've got to make that happen. We can point out many things that can make it inconvenient or can slow us down, but ultimately, it's on us.